Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Three Stitches podcast. I am your host for this Monday afternoon-ish. It's kind of weird here, so just bear with me. Before I forget, it is episode 156. I just looked it up and I didn't write it down, so I'm just so happy I remembered. And don't quote me on it because it could still be wrong. I meant to podcast last week, but by the time Ruby would leave the dorm, I would forget. And it's not that you guys aren't important, on the top of my list, but I've just got the mind of a tennis racket. So she would come in and be like, oh, I was supposed to podcast. Or I'd look over at my name and be like, oh, you're supposed to podcast. Oh, but Rumi's back anytime now. So yes, I'm so sorry, but spring break was nuts for us. We were going to plan to do a joint episode again like we do during the breaks, since Catherine and I did get to go home. Well, that's an interesting story, which I'll get back to. We were, all together at home, but we honestly just did not have the time. We had to make a trip down to El Paso, and we were cleaning up that house and painting and moving and all the good stuff that comes with, renting out a house. So when we did have the time and when the kids were in bed or occupied, we were pretty much dead to the world. So it really wouldn't have been a value-add episode anyways. But I was going to podcast last week, so Mom could podcast this week because Catherine still doesn't have internet. So it's really kind of weird. She's got a really, really tight firewall at school, so it's not like she can bring the episode on a flash drive and upload it, because she can barely get onto YouTube for educational videos, so WordPress is probably absolutely forbidden. She can't even use Gmail or Yahoo Mail at all. So it's unlikely that she can upload it from there. And there's no easy way of emailing it to us so we could post it. So, because, first of all, she can't get on email, and they don't allow that big of a file through emails. So it's going to be weird for her. We're going to try and get her to do an episode. Maybe she can come down here one day and we'll do a joint episode. But if you get one, it'll be a surprise. We'll leave it at that. But Mom will probably podcast next week, but I'll recap that all in the end, like I usually do. Or I try to remember to, usually. Oh, which reminds me, I should probably say that I am Knitting Doink on Plurk and on Ravelry, so you can come find me. We have a Facebook group. We have a Ravelry group as well, and they're all under the Three Stitches podcast, so you can find us there. And I am Lindsay in real life. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the formalities there. I know it's been a while since you've seen me, but honestly not much has happened. Last week was all trying to get back in the swing of things for school. I mean, I was out of school for 7 days, and yet it was so hard to get back into the rhythm. It wasn't even funny. It also did help that on Monday my one class from 5:30 to 8:30 wasn't canceled, but we had a sub and we just watched documentaries for all 3 hours. Or actually it was more like 2.5. But still, I mean, I was one of 5 people that stayed to the end. But it was good knitting time. It really was. But unfortunately, you won't get to see that progress because the project is in my school bag, completely entrenched in all my stuff that, I wanted to podcast before I forgot again, so I didn't pull it out. But I can't remember the name of it. I was working on the cowl. I don't know if you guys remember or if we showed it. But we are working on a knit-along, the 3 of us, along with Jackie Knits and a friend of hers, doing a cowl. And I honestly can't remember the name of it. It's a pattern from the book On Holiday. I actually do remember that. I don't remember, the designer or anything, but I do remember the name of the book, which is On Holiday, and it's a really cute cowl. It's got beads on the cast-on, and I got 2 charts done just in this 2.5 hours in semi-darkness, so I am chalking that up as a win for me. But most of the knitting that I did get done, which I can't remember what I showed you last time or what progress I was at, so we're just going to go with the story that I've gotten a lot done. And if that's not true, then, well, we'll call it artistic license. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it. So, over spring break, I went to, I guess we'll call it on vacation, but we trekked down to El Paso. I went with my sleeves for my sweater, which I had 1/2 done, and I went with my pie. Did I bring anything else? I don't think I did. I didn't have room for it. No, I didn't. I didn't have room for anything else, so I just brought my sweater and my pie. Oh, and I did bring my shawl, but I didn't get any work done on it. But I'll show that to you because there was work done on it after you guys saw it, but not during spring break, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But I had half a sleeve done. I got both sleeves done. Ooh, I know. And it's unworsted on size 9, so really not that big of an accomplishment. But I don't think you guys even saw the sleeve. But it has a repeat of the cable that you saw up the side, with a slight difference because it tapers off. But oh, my light is really weird here. I mean, it's in the middle of the day, and I had like total glare coming here because I still haven't figured out where's the best place to podcast in here, which is kind of bad because I've been here for like 3/4 of a school year. Bad, bad, bad. I know. But hey, I'm just, happy to actually remember to podcast. But yeah, so there's the pattern. It's like this, Celtic cable, which I really, really love. Yeah, so it goes on both sleeves, like right there. Yeah, so I got both of them done. I just stuck the sleeves on my sweater, and I am like that far. Yeah, I know, not much progress. But it is the Rogue hoodie by a person whose name I can't remember. I know, I'm totally on top of things today. But yeah, it was meant to be pieced together, and then you like pick up stitches for the hood. But I'm either lazy or just persnickety and said, I am not piecing together another sweater. I am sorry, no can do. So I joined it in the round, which I think it was done in the round. Yeah, it was done in the round up to the armpits, which I've done before. I have done sweaters where you work in the round up to the armpit and then you split it and then do pieces and then put the sleeves in. But I'm like, why not just yoke it? So, going off the beaten path like I am prone to do, and I haven't learned because it always, turns out bad, but I did as the pattern said, and I went all the way up to the armpits, and then I did the sleeves like a yoked sweater, and I'm putting them on like a yoked sweater, so I'm doing basically a reverse raglan. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have to work it flat because it's a V-neck sweater, but once the V-neck splits, I'm going to work it flat, and then put the hood on, and that is with any luck. I mean, it could totally go wrong, and I might have to totally follow the pattern and, split it and do 2 side panels and a back and then a hood and then put the sleeves on, but I'm really hoping I don't have to. Especially since it was meant to be done in a sport weight anyways, and I'm doing a worsted, so yeah. Fingers crossed this actually works out. I'm hoping it will, but I've got this bad feeling it won't, but, I'm doing it anyways. Not my brightest move. Alright, so that's my sweater. Yeah, so, it is being done in, I don't remember the name of the colorway, but it's A Pound of Love, which, it doesn't come in a poorly wound ball, but yeah. Actually comes in a big skein. That's the word, skein. Yeah, so this is like a quarter. I've got like a quarter of like one ball left, and I have maybe half of the other, because I bought 2 skeins because I needed 2 skeins. I didn't want to like cut and do sleeves and then cut and like have to sew in tags, so I used 1 skein for the sleeves and 1 skein for the sweater, and the extras from the sleeve is going on the sweater. That's a totally confusing and complicated way of saying I used both skeins at the same time. Yeah, it's a Monday. Can you tell? Alright, so that's my sweater, as I've currently said. Alright, and the other project I got a lot done on, ooh, goodness, and it's falling all over the place, is my pie. I don't remember where you saw it last time, but I'm currently, or still, working on the 96 section, and I am that far. I think I was like there last time you saw it, so I did get a good amount done, thanks to watching movies on campus and not having the brain cells to do anything else, instead just working and around, just going around and around and around, plain knit stitch. No decreases, no patterns, no cables, which is kind of sad because I love cables. But when I've got no brain cells, cables aren't good. But I think I'm at like row 30 if I recall, so sorry about that. I did get a good amount of progress done. Yeah, so that's my pie. Very, yeah, bland. But sometimes you just need bland. and I am working it in Red Heart Super Saver because I need something that I can wash and wash and wash and wash and wash and wash and wash. And Mom had some left over, so I kind of pilfered it with her permission. Yeah, I think I'm working on the third skein now, but I wouldn't quote me on that. Yeah, the last project I have to show you, and I've got 5 minutes, because we're trying to keep them to 15 minutes, and this is actually going much faster than I thought it would. Alright, last project. And I feel like I'm talking very quickly, but I don't know if that's normal or not. So, yeah, if I am so sorry. And if I'm not, never mind. Alright, so this is the third take for this yarn. I actually have the tag here somewhere. Yeah, oh, there it is. In my mess over here by my desk. That's why you don't see this area, because it's as if a bomb went off. Although that's kind of my normal state, but yeah. It is in Alpaca with a Twist. 70% baby alpaca and 30% silk, and it is so squishy. Yep, and that's totally backwards, or at least it's backwards for me. I don't know if it flips it yet. I don't know. But yeah, so it is lace weight, and this is the third take. I got this pattern for my birthday from the lovely Miss Jackie Knits, which I forgot. I must not have podcasted since my birthday, which means I have to fish these out. I don't know. Have I podcasted since my birthday? I honestly don't remember. But, here, I'm going to pause it for a sec, and I'm going to go check, because I don't want to kill any more time than I have to, so give me a sec here. Yes, I did podcast since my birthday. Sorry. Again, like I said, brain like a tennis racket. So I'll put that back in the drawer, and I will show you my progress. Still not much, because the pattern has yet, well, it has started since I am knitting on it, but the lace to it hasn't yet. I'm getting close, though. I haven't got much work done on it, so, well, as you can kind of see. But yeah, it's plain up into a point, and then it'll have some lace, and it'll be plain again, and then there's an engine. So yeah, this project has actually been a godsend, because it's been sitting in my grumpy old lady bag, and we've had 2 fire drills this week. One at 7 a.m., which I was so thankful that I wasn't in the shower like roommate's boyfriend was, which had to be kind of awkward. But yeah, then there's one in the afternoon, like a half hour before we go to class. So I just like grabbed my grumpy old lady bag and like got out of the building. So it made a nice project, so I didn't have to worry about patterns. I just, picked it up and kept knitting. So yeah, it was actually very handy. And I was just thankful that I actually remembered to bring it with me, and not at the expense of grabbing my keys or something like that. Yeah. Wow. Oh, and I don't remember the name of the pattern, which again shouldn't be surprising, but the pattern is by Dee O'Keefe, and this is my second pattern by her. Her patterns are fabulous. They're very well written. They're really easy to follow, and gorgeous too, so that's always a plus. But and because I did the Elizabeth shawl by her, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was a green tonal shawl. And yeah, so it's the same designer. Yeah. Wow, anticlimactic again. So I guess I'll just leave it there. There was something I was going to say at the end. I know there was. And that's why I guess I said it at the beginning, because I totally forgot. Oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. I remembered. Okay, so we'll hopefully see you next week. I mean, fingers crossed, really. I mean, things can get crazy at the drop of a hat, so you never know. Hopefully, Catherine will be able to podcast soon. I know Mom will podcast next week. We hope to get a podcast from Catherine the week after that, but I wouldn't hold your breath. So I would just plan on seeing me again in 2 weeks' time. I know it's a hardship, but when Catherine comes back, it'll be a nice treat. So until then, guys, Mom will see you next week, and I'll see you maybe in 2 weeks' time. But hopefully you will get a podcast every week now. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Alright, so before I just keep jabbering on about stuff I've already said, I'll let you go. So until the next podcast, whenever that may be, with whomever that may be, bye!